Welcome to Coach Soul, the podcast where we explore therapeutic ways to the best versions of ourselves. I'm your host, Steve Hudgins. I'm a licensed professional counselor dedicated to helping you navigate life's challenges. In each uplifting episode, we'll discuss mental health, relationships, self-care, emotional well-being, and personal growth. Join me and with my co-host, Evelyn, a therapeutic life coach, where sometimes we'll even welcome special guests to our show that share their experience and expertise. So let's embark on this transformative path together and discover a healthier and happier you. Hey, welcome back to Coach Soul. What a happy new year, Kenya. It's 2025.
Nothing like the smell of New Year's in the air.
You know, it's funny because in the 80s, we watched a great movie called Back to the Future, and it's nothing what the movie portrays. So I'm not ready for flying cars.
Oh my gosh. Well, the flying cars part, it comes handy when you're in traffic. So
that is true.
I have been holding the vision for the flying cars, and it's perfect because today we're talking about vision.
You stepped right where I was going. So
right. Sometimes movies do that. Mm-hmm. Throughout our lives, planting seeds about what is it going to be like. Some tech person have an idea or maybe some conspiracy theory.
I mean, you look at AIs, right? You know, the robots. I mean, my favorite 100%. Movie that I really enjoyed was Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams playing the robot and how much he wanted to be a human being. And that's one of my favorites of his, along with several others. But you know, it's great to have a vision. It's how do we carry out our vision? So, Kenya, what is 2025? What does your vision look like for you?
2025 is blossoming. 2025, the vision that I had for 2025, the vision that I had for 2024, it was a vision of harmony and unity. And interesting enough, and dear listeners, I know you're going to follow me in this, what I have encountered was this harmony and this unity, because my vision was to create that. So I somehow call it the law of the universe, God's guidance. I encounter a lot of crunchiness in my home to make it work, to harmonize communication, relationships, this harmony even within me, parts of me that wanted something, parts of me that didn't want something. So I was noticing that if I wanted to create that outside, I needed to create within me. And I'm just really happy to say that for me, it's not that 2024 was a hard year, was a good year. I believe that every year is a good year. But hands down, it was a lot of crunchy. Whoa, a lot of crunchy that allow me to exercise the harmonizer that I have set up to be, to become, to receive, to understand, to create. For 2025, I see blossoming. I see the gifts that I have seen in my house, in my children, in me, the gifts that I pointed out. I'm talking to you right now. I can hear my daughter in the piano. You know, I'm a musician, but I have never, it's not true, not never. I have not pushed my kids. Once I realized that I was pushing my kids early, really early, 5, 6 years old, I stopped pushing them, and I believed the right timing to blossoming. So music is one example. A business is another example. Community. 2025 is a year of community. I really see community everywhere, me plugged into a community, my husband and I creating community, Coach It So, expanding community. I see a lot of things, but my vision has to do with the blossoming. That's literally the vision that I receive and that I'm holding in my head is the flower blossoming, is the new day, is the dawn, is freshness.
And when I lived in Japan, March and April was my favorite month because of the cherry blossom trees and the flowers on the cherry blossoms, just the exuberant smell. It was just refreshing. And, here we are, we begin a new year, and it's about helping it to blossom. We have this vision, and oftentimes I think through the middle of the year, we get stuck and we forget our vision because we get so distracted. When I think about the vision for my own self, you and I are going to a convention in February to network, a sense of community. And so I'm looking forward to that vision of what it's going to hold, and the vision of our organization, Faith Forward. It's going to be a unique year perspective. And so it's great that we have a vision, you individually, I have one individually. But Kenya, if we have two different senses, you're female, I'm male, you're married, I'm not. I mean, there's so much differences here. As a sense of community, what do you think are some key factors to help communities, since we have such diversity? What is it that can bring us together with one vision?
The love for each other, the love for life. We human beings have resistance pain because it doesn't feel right, because it's not right. We're not here for pain and suffering. I'm sure you heard many, many times, suffering is optional, pain is not, because it's part of the human experience. So in a way, we have resisted the human experience.
Right.
Right? Because contraction and relaxation is part of the same movement. Like, look at our body. Both legs are only like this if you're doing squats. But if you're walking, you have one extended, one contracted, one extended. It's part of the human experience. So that when we hold the vision of this can be better, it's because we know that we're created to feel joy. We're created to feel love. We're created, it's not even to feel, to experience, to generate, to expand. So instead of feeding off of each other, our brilliances, instead of expanding our gifts, pop culture through music and through news have bombarded us with fear and pain and suffering and negativity and guilt and shame. So as a community, I say, I rise up, you rise up to hold the energy, which happens to be the fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. We hold the energy of a vision where we experience that. Like a vase, like you hold, you contain. Your question before was, how come in the halfway through the year we're like, Well, because we leaked the vision. You leaked the energy. So that would be a great follow-up podcast about holding the energy of the vision.
Oh, for sure.
But you don't hold the energy of the vision if you don't have the clear vision in the first place. So what I thought it would be really interesting for us to do today is a vision exercise, not a goal setting, not a write down your top 10, which I love all the above, but has it worked? Really?
I mean, just same thing as New Year's resolutions. Do they really work?
It only works if you hold the vision.
Correct.
If it's a list in your book, forget it. But if it's a list in your book that you put in the mirror, if it's a list in your book that you go and you paint it and you create symbols for it, because your brain doesn't know words, it knows symbols. So if you have a happy face, a heart, a fire emoji for power, for the Holy Spirit, for community, people hugging, like what is the vision literally is in the eyes. So I don't mean to take over. Taking over. Already taken over. Dear listeners, whether you are driving, I want you to hold a vision of what were your most best. I said boast. Did you hear that? It's most best. How your most best, happiest, funniest, playful, expressed self feel. how would you feel if you're in that state of, do you have the picture? Does the picture have a name? Does it have an age that you can bring it to now? Does it have a memory? So your brain, so you can trigger your subconscious mind to say, ooh, more of that, please. I can't wait to go back to my wedding day. I was the prettiest bride. Hello. But I was also so happy. It was 100% a dream come true. And of course I had my friends there and my family there. And wow, to feel like my wedding day every day would be heaven on earth. And it wasn't because of what I saw, even though everything was fairy tale like, literally carriage, fairy tale like, was gorgeous. But I felt like, wow, I created that, because I did. I wedding planned that. I felt so proud of something I have created. I was so proud of me. So the question for Kenya was, can you hold being proud of you even when it doesn't look like fairy tale wedding? So that, because the frequency is the same, and my body has experienced being proud of me. It's like, ooh, yeah, I got this. Bring the joy, bring the excitement for now. That is the manifestation coaches will tell you that, right? Bring the feelings, bring the excitement. And hey, I'm all about using whatever words fits you, but you cannot do anything without a vision. So back to what you're saying.
I look at, when we talk about vision, it's like a compass to the soul. It just guides us through the fog of uncertainty, and it just illuminates the paths that we never thought existed. And so when I think about vision, and the question that I asked earlier about what do we do about the middle of the year and we lose it, oftentimes, we go to our dental clinic every 6 months. Well, at least I do. I liked having my teeth clean and smiley and such. And so they clean the teeth. I think sometimes what would be helpful is to take 6 months. Here we are in January, be starting a vision. In June, do a 6-month check-in with yourself. Am I still on track with my vision? What is something I need to tweak in my vision? And then you check in December, which is towards the end of the year, and just do an overall view. Did I complete what I need to complete? And if not, move it to the front so that it gets accomplished in 2025. So I have a task list that I have. And so there's 4 or 5 things I need to complete. And so I prioritize, I call it triage. I triage my tasks to find out what's the most important to take care of today. I try to get what I can. If what I don't accomplish, I move it to the next day as my top priority. So I make sure. So it's making sure that interweave part gets taken care of. And the same thing with our vision. It's great to have a vision. We can have programs and be successful, but are we really tweaking the program to its finest? Because oftentimes we get sidetracked or distracted and think, oh, that's a great idea, or that's a great idea.
But the vision wasn't strong enough.
Okay.
The vision wasn't strong enough. So from the beginning, dear listeners, we are not telling you to make a list. I am telling you to picture, literally picture a vision of how do you want this 2025 to feel? What do you want to experience? Because when you go to vacations, you go there because you want to feel something. Oh, I want to feel relaxed.
Right.
I want to look at a different scenery. I want to feel like I can reset my senses because I'm tired of looking at walls or the same trees or whatever. So get clear. Without a vision, a man perish. Over and over again, there's so I'm gonna bring this to 2025. Without a vision, you're gonna repeat 2024. Did she just say that? She sure did. Without a vision, you are an autopilot repeating what has always been. So this is your chance. And I'm not saying it's your chance because it's 2025. You hold the vision day 1, day 2, day 3. Oh, Kenya, you telling me to do a vision board? If you want to. No, I'm not telling you. I'm telling you to hold a vision. If your vision is you drawing a guy in the stick, like head, and you just a feeling of happy and say happy. It's whatever it is for you, or new opportunities or community or friends. You gotta have it clear, and you keep that in front of you, and you feel gratitude that God is giving you that vision, because if he's giving you the vision, he's here to help you fulfill it. He's giving you the vision, he's helping you fulfill it. If you keep changing the vision, of leaking the vision because it's not happening fast enough. And I'll give you an example. This is the year I'm getting married. I have a girlfriend that said that 2025 is my year. If she goes January, February, March, April, May, June, just watch. She might say, okay, God, this is the year I have a boyfriend. She start compromising. I'll get engaged. Okay, this is the year that I go in 5 dates. Okay, I'll take one. So she start compromising because she doesn't believe in the vision. Hold the vision. Believe the vision. Do not settle for anything but the vision.
It's holding yourself accountable. And if you find that you're having difficulty, find someone who can help you. A coach, a therapist, a friend that can help you with that envision to reach your goal. I mean, you look at people who run track or run long marathons. Oftentimes they have somebody running alongside them to coach them, 100%. To cheer them on. And that's why I love Canadian geese. I hear them in the spring and the fall, and I hear them, they're flying over my house, honking, honking, honking. And it's because they're cheering each other on.
Let's go.
Right. And one's tired, it'll land, and either that mate will stay there with them, or the whole flock lands with it until they're ready to gain the streak again. And to me, vision's important. And to go along with that, the Bible does say that God directs your steps. And if you have that vision, and if it's part of that kingdom, he's going to guide it, make it to fruition. One of my goals or visions in 2025 is to hopefully my book gets published on blended families. It is what I've gone through in my personal life, realizing attachment issue that I had, the ups and downs in the relationships that I've had, how I became secure in my attachment now, and looking at how blended families can reduce that 65% statistic. That's my vision, to be passionate and advocate for families and fathers and men and women and children to be successful in blended families. I mean, that's the vision I have for 2025. Again, it goes in alignment with you, a sense of community. And so, but in order to have a sense of community, it's also learning to communicate. When you think about vision, when we talk about close your eyes, I want you to envision something. Our mind goes to where it wants. Like for me, I want you to envision the mountains, and I can immediately go into detail what that's like because I went and experienced it.
The mountains, yes.
Yes, and I want to go back there again. And so when I feel a little anxious or stressed, I close my eyes and I vision the place where I want to go. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like a goal. You envision where you want to go, just like a sports player. I'm going to kick that field goal, so they practice in their mind over and over again. 2025 will be successful, not can be, not could be. The terminology and the words that we use helps bring to fruition the vision.
Yeah. And I want to invite our listeners to pay attention in Steve's words and define for yourself, because what success is for him, it might not be what it is for you. And it definitely is not what it is for me. So success for me is all about unity, collaboration, joy, and the freedom to be fully expressed. That's success. If I feel constriction, I feel like I don't have time to do me, I can't sing, then I'm not feeling successful. Success for my husband, it's probably about how much money he's making, because it's so coded in him as a masculine provider, the business successful, and having his family in order is also success. To have a ton of money and to be alone. Hello, maybe not. So what is the definition of success for you?
Breathing every day is a success. I mean, it's just simple for me. Simply because when I look at, here we are in January. I'm in the middle of my research for my doctorate. The goal of my vision is to have my doctorate for 2025. That is being successful. A book is being successful. Anything that we set our mind to do and it's done is success. Now, Steve, what do we do if we fail? That's still a success, because what can you do with a failure? It's not a failure. It's an area of opportunity to grow.
100%.
And that's what I talk about in my book is that, I equate myself to a hermit crab, that I grow out of this shell and I try to find a new shell. But in this process, I'm vulnerable. But it's about how do we get bigger and be able to continue to grow and to communicate our emotions and our boundaries and feelings. And it's a whole thing in a vision. To me, success is how much are you being resilient to bounce back? Because oftentimes we can have a vision and we feel like, oh my gosh, I can't go any further. I'm stuck. I've failed. No, oftentimes we get obstacles in the way. What do runners do? They jump hurdles. I'm not very good at it, so I don't jump hurdles.
They practice doing that.
They do. I can play leapfrog pretty well. I just don't do it with a unicorn.
Yes. So what I heard you saying is something I really want to bring here as we complete the first chapter of the vision exercise, which is bring it in the vision itself. Bring it in. What does it look like? What would it feel like? What is the picture that you can hold in your brain? Is that a memory that you want to recreate from that? Or do you want a fresh, clean slate? And then we go back to be, do, have. Be, do, have. Success, what I heard you saying was so beautiful, Steve, is that successful is being. Is being.
Yes.
If I am being, I am a success. If I am being me, and being me is always evolving, and it's always looking for what's right and expanding from possibilities. So being, even if you are being not what you had pictured in your mind. I'm talking Kenya. Even if I lose my cool, go to fear and anger, I can always meet me there and say, it's okay. It's part of the human experience. Let's get up and do it again. Let's shift to play. Let's shift to curiosity. So coming from being, I go to the action of the vision, right? Because if I have a vision, I'm going to use the example that I had before. If the vision is, this is the year I'm getting married with my life partner, right? Then part of the action step is to know who do I want to attract? I really want somebody that likes exercising because I'm an exercise lover. I really want somebody that is easy to talk because I know we're going to be friends forever. It's the base of the, so what get very clear. And then a line step is go to dates. He's not just go show up in your door and say, hi, heard you've been praying for me, So align steps, be, do, have. And then we shift it around, because I never hear people saying that. And I really want to highlight that the having, you're not grateful when you have in your hands. You're grateful when you have because you believe that the vision is done.
Mm-hmm. And as we close out this podcast, Kenya, one of the things I want to leave with our listeners is that in order to accomplish the vision is to conquer the fear. Just confront fear. Some fear is healthy. Yes, I get it. But when the fear gets in the way that you say, I can't do, I can't be, I can't have, that's fear that stops us from envisioning the greater part of what Coach So is about, being a better you. And so until next time, take care and God bless.
Much love.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode on Coach Soul. As we wrap up, we want to remind our listeners of a few key points. This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not substitute professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The content shared here is based on professional opinion but may not apply to everyone's situation. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your mental health care. If you're in a crisis, please seek immediate professional help or contact a crisis hotline. Listening to this podcast does not create a therapist-client relationship. For personal advice, please consult with your licensed mental health professional in your area. Remember, your mental health journey is unique. While we hope this information is helpful, it is crucial to work directly with the qualified personnel for your specific needs. Thank you again for tuning in to Coach Soul, and we'll see you next time.